Mic check. And we're live. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. I'm SM Sith Lord and I'm going to be streaming from the Somnium builder for 2 hours, like every week. And we're going to be doing a build that is, as usual, it's going to be a pretty important, big, epic build. I've done a couple things to the parcel here in preparation that I'll explain in a moment. But first of all, thanks everybody for joining me here on, if you're watching on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Somnium space, or you could be watching on Twitter or YouTube or all those places. I'm going to be trying to monitor the chat while I'm working in here, but if I miss anything, it might take me a while to get back to you. But we're going to have a good time. So let me... Okay, I'm in the chat. I'm good to go. Let me explain what's going on with some of these things that we're seeing here. So a couple things that I've done. I've basically coated the parcel with liquid white just to get a sense of what I'm building here. Now, it's not going to be exactly these placeholder objects here. Most of these are going to be torn down, but it's just to give me a sense of scale to start with, because this is going to be a pretty epic build. I want to make sure that I get it all done during the 2-hour period here. Maybe we'll go a little bit more if I don't get it done in time, but we're shooting for it. So I have scaled out placeholder geometry for this. It's like a campus, like a kind of like a college campus in the world. Another thing that I've done is I've put a bunch of the branding images that I want to get into the space. I've gotten them already spawned into the parcel. They're just sitting over here in random locations right now, so I'll be finding places to put these branding images throughout the area, plus add some more. And also I was looking at a couple things like floating books, floating candles, because we're going for a wizard kind of theme here for the Republic Realm Academy build. And I also grabbed a bunch of images that I might use as textures that I threw over here, like some cool glowing windows and things like that. So this build is going to be a couple phases, just like in the past. But we kind of skipped forward here by having this these placeholder geometry here that show us the scale of the parcel with these doors and couches. Now we need to adapt this, and we have to do some testing here. We have to do some testing about the scale and being able to go in to some of these wings of this campus here. Because we don't want things to be too tight, and if things are going to be too tight walking into the wings, then we got to adapt that some and have some archways and kind of make it like a semi-enclosed area instead of a fully enclosed area. So to test things out on the scale, let's copy one of these things over here. First of all, I could delete this one to give myself some more space to test stuff out in. Oops. Okay, well, almost okay. There we go. Let me cluster together these little images to get them out of the way for now. All right. Now, let's see here. We're going to want something cool like these cylinders on the outside to give us that gothic kind of look. Now, my concern are that these cylinders are, if they sink into the wall like that, they're going to be eating up a lot of that interior space. And there's not too much interior space there to work with. But let's get a door in there. Get some scaling in. Well, not that door. We'll get a wizardly looking door. How about that one? Okay. And we'll do something like this. Okay, so that is too cramped. That would feel crampy in there. What if we made it a little bit wider? How wide would we need to make this for it to not feel cramped? Pretty wide. Not too sure that'll get the job done as far as making it not feel cramped. But let's keep playing around with it a little bit and see where it gets us. Okay, so we need to smash these things here. But before we do that, let's make things easy on ourselves here. Let's do some tricks. I'm going to make a bit of a complex shape here. It's going to be two shapes combined into one. So let's start from scratch and just make a default scaled cylinder, default scaled cone. Put them right on top of each other. See how they perfectly line up now? Okay, that's what we wanted. We'll stretch this up a little bit. Oh, actually, we're going to stretch the whole thing. So. Keep going. Okay, now my fear was that these cylinders would dig too much into the inside and wouldn't have enough walkable space. But seeing it here, I'm thinking maybe digging into the inside is a good thing because it adds decoration to the inside. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a little tight in here. Let me put a bed in there and see what that would look like. Bed and furniture. Because plan B, if I can't get these wings to be comfortable enough to walk through, making them mostly a facade with some semi-enclosed areas underneath some archways would be another route to go. In fact, we might need to do both. So let's continue what we're doing here. And get this turned in. Well, before I do that, I want to make a clone of this spire here, unmodified, in case I need to make a different variation of it. Now that I have a backup clone of it, I'll put this into here. Okay, now this is going to get tricky. Well, not too tricky. Now, are we still perfectly lined up on the x-axis here? We are. Okay. Okay, that's looking good. How's it look on the inside? It's alright. Let's throw some Hogwarts-style bricks onto here. I actually looked up some bricks that were similar. Stone, not bricks. So those look pretty good. And for these pillars, we're going to want something different. These pillars, we might want concrete that is the same color as the stone. Or darker. let's see. Yeah, probably we want something darker. Okay, now for our ceiling thing. This looks like it might be working out. I'll see though. We want shingles. Dark shingles. Good, and then let's see here. Actually, we want this to be like that. Hey. Looking pretty good there. Almost. Now, if we're able to go through these hallways, we can have an art gallery in there. That would be good. Galleries are a good thing. Okay. And now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what a cool window would appear on here. As media, we're going to put one of those PNGs that I already uploaded. This is just some stuff that I searched the internet and found. These might turn out the best. Let's see. Now, we want to do some forced perspective. Forced perspective means that things that are higher up should be shrunken down to be smaller than they actually are, so it seems like the thing is taller. They do this a lot in theme parks, but they do it in actual architecture also. Can this space port over to Solaverse or Sandbox or any other, well, most other apps? Yes. So if you're in, if you're building on your parcel here in Somnium, you click on the export button, which was added not too long ago, and then, okay, so other platforms that you try to export to, they might support voxels or geometry. So we're building with geometry here. The voxels are the little cubes, and geometry are stuff that have like faces and vertices and stuff like that. So since we're not building with voxels, exporting to a voxel engine doesn't make too much sense. However, if you're trying to export to an engine that uses geometry like surfaces and stuff like that, not voxels, then you just click on export here and you set up your options, your texture atlas size, mesh quality, and you can export as a GLB or an FBX. Those are pretty good formats. Most things do support those. And you can get your parcel in a format for you to take with you into other games. Absolutely. Now, it's not just voxels or geometry. We're working with a certain type of geometry where there's vertices and stuff like that. There's other things like NURBs. NURBs are like the splines of geometry. They have infinite detail because the connection between each vertex, instead of being a straight line, is a mathematical, equation for a line. It's a curve. So those are really interesting. There's not a lot of games that use those, but they do use them in like pre-rendered stuff where you need to have that infinite detail when you get really close. But yeah, that is definitely true. Polygons and voxels, those are the main kind of things. The main popular ones right now. or games. There's other things too, not just NURBS. I was reading up on another kind of geometry that had excellent collision detection built into its whole design. So, lots of different options. Okay, these windows should probably be closer together. And let's try to make a couple more columns. Okay, let me do something that makes these columns, that makes reproducing these columns easier. I'm going to put a little square foundation on the bottom. That way I have a good little handle to grab. Here. NURBS, yeah. It's actually a U, N-U-R-B-S. It's pretty interesting because everybody knows what splines are. NURBS are the 3D cousin of splines. Okay, let's get this thing. Oops, snap this to there. Let's see, are those too close? Well, I can't fit in a window in between those, so I'd say that those are too close. Let's actually use this foundation as a spacer. Yes, this should work out nicely, and maybe I'll remove these spacers afterwards. But if they help me get these things to the right distance so I can have a window in between, very good. Hey, this is looking pretty good here on the outside. Let's continue. Yes. Games are interesting though. It's not just games. A lot of people don't classify Somnium as a game, even though you can go and shoot stuff in it. The difference is really pre-rendered or real-time simulations. The metaverse is real-time simulations. That's all games, all social apps and stuff like that. They're real-time rendered. But movies, those are pre-rendered. And a huge difference, other than, you know, it could take a year to render a movie, and that's okay because you'll just render it over a render farm, and you know it doesn't need to happen right away. So like having to render the thing 60, 90, 120 times every second is a huge consideration when what kind of tech gets thrown at game engines. But also the physics simulation is huge because there's always a trade-off of, do you want to have to make a collision mesh with your geometry, or do you want to be able to use the visual mesh as the collision? And the problem with that is the visual meshes are usually super high poly. So yeah, games just have a whole different set of considerations to be thinking about than those pre-rendered texts. Okay, so to optimize on the second pass, because remember I said this is going to be a few passes here, I'm going to probably make all of the windows into one PNG and just span it across there. That might work out. But I'm still kind of just sampling out a kind of art set here that I'll want to use, not only on this building, but on other buildings too. And I'm trying to see if I can comfortably walk inside of it. It would feel like more like a hallway on the inside. However, if the art gallery is going on the inside and we have some arches looking in, it might work out pretty well. So this one I'm going to delete. This is going to be the new size if this works out for our wing. We're going to have two wings, by the way. As you can see, I have been thinking through this a little bit. So we want to have two wings. We want to have a nice enclosed courtyard. We want to have arches, particularly an arch that you walk through to get into the courtyard area, but also perhaps some arches into this semi-enclosed area of the wing. We want to have the branding images here, but we also want to be able to have like an art gallery added later. So I'll probably put some placeholder art installations in there before we're done here. But yeah, this would be a tight squeeze if we had both of these walls. So the next thing I'm going to try here is figuring out how these arches would look over here on this side. So to give myself some more space, let's delete this. This placeholder architecture. Okay. And I'll go ahead and throw our sandy bricks at it. Okay. Now, after I add some trim along the top, this will look nice, but I'm not going to focus on that right now because I need to make sure that we're going to look cool from the inside. Outside could work out. The inside. We're going to have to make an archway. An archway. Easier said than done. Now, I'm building in the easy mode builder here, and I'll talk a little bit about what that means and some of the restraints we have to work within by using the easy mode builder here. So right now, I just launched up the PC client from the Somnium. And there's all kinds of prefab that you could build with. I'm using mostly shapes, but when I get to the other detail passes, I'll be doing things like adding perhaps columns or furniture like sofas and stuff like that. So you have all these prefabs that you can place down, primitives and prefabs. And then from there, you can just position wherever you want. You could scale them like this. You could non-uniform scale them. So you got these good, simple, easy to use transforms there. You build right here in, well, it's not the live world because I launched into the builder where I can focus on my parcel and I don't see the actual buildings in the other parcels. But you get to build right here on your land to see exactly how everything's going to look. Build your temple that faces the sun or something like that. Now this is the easy mode thing. The hard mode is, or I call it hard mode, maybe somebody really good at it would call that easy mode too, but it's the Unity SDK. Somnium has a Unity SDK where you can use your, so I'm using prefabs here, but if you go the other route to the Unity SDK, you can use your Blender skills or your Cinema 4D skills and actually like make your mesh in a different program, import it into the SDK, rig it up with all kinds of special materials and stuff like that, and then put that on your parcel. So when you do that method, since you're using things like Blender and Cinema 4D, you can go a pretty traditional route. But if you're building from the in-game builder here, the easy mode, there's a couple things that are challenging, and one of those are hollow shapes, like an archway. I've gone full circle, back to what I wanted to talk about. We're going to build an archway here. It's going to be a little bit complex to do, but let's do it. And we need to do this archway using as few shapes as possible because we're going to reproduce this archway several times over. And if we can't get this done in few enough shapes, then I gotta, have a plan B about how we can have the same effect with fewer shapes. So let's say that this was the archway here. That. And I'm basically just laying out like a ruler here that I'm going to be using to get the size of things and the radius of curvature, and then I'm going to delete this thing. So the top is going to be like a cylinder. So, a bit bigger. Yeah, mesh import into the SDK. The only problem with that, if you're a person like me, is that it's super hard. It is like when I'm building something here, I don't need to know what a UVW is. I don't need to know a lot of really technical concepts. I just get to play with shapes. But as soon as you get into Blender, wow, all that stuff becomes super important. Okay, so there's an arch. This arch might be the wrong kind of radius, perhaps. No, it might be the right kind of radius. In fact, could I even want it wider? Maybe. Okay, so let's see if we can make this thing with shapes. I gotta just digest that for a second. How are we gonna cut this up? We got that shape, and then you got the curve shapes. Well, that was easy. Let's make it happen. I need to see what I'm working on here. And there is a day-night system when you click this. Even in the editor of Somnium here is the day-night system, which is important because there is a day-night system in the actual world. So if you want to see what your building's going to look like in various lighting conditions or as it transitions between, that's a great one. Or you could just go straight to day or night. But even if you're at day, I'm on the other side of the sun here. I want to be able to see what I'm working on, so I'm going to put a light into there. Perhaps a temporary light. Okay. Greetings, Norman. Do you have an architecture? So, Norman asks how difficult it might be to create a nightclub type of environment. I guess the short answer is as difficult as you want it to be, because you can just play with shapes and get something that's pretty fun and usable really quick. And then you can keep on going from there and keep adding more and more details, or maybe go into the Blender, or I'm sorry, the Unity SDK and do something ultra detailed. So it's kind of a sliding scale of how hard it would be to build a nightclub. But I will say that I'm normally building nightclubs. Stages, I'm going to build a stage in here somewhere in the quad, maybe probably up on that bridge you'll be able to stand on. But yeah, but stages and nightclubs, they're awesome to make. Even in the builder, you can get some really cool stuff done. And that's because mostly of two things you can make awesome nightclubs. Because of neons. This is what a neon is. If you're not familiar, you can have this thing that glows and it even pulses different colors, which probably looks better at nighttime. And then when you throw like a colored light in front of that, it really starts looking cool. And the fact that you can play animated GIFs in there, and they play full lit. So if I go over here and I search Giphy for something like neon lights, and we'll do one of these, and since I'm just doing the example, we'll spawn the Be Your Own Boss GIF. So I can show you what it looks like glowing. Oh, that one's bigger than 10 megabytes, huh? So you could do transparent images like that, which glow, or some, if you don't do the transparent ones, I can search for neon cyberpunk, a regular GIF. You can spawn really cool stuff on the walls. And you can kind of build a whole area around a cool image that you put on the wall because it's GIFs. GIFs are awesome. They're awesome to look at. And if you put them in a world like that and you add a colored light in front of them to match the color of the GIF, you got some cool stuff going on. So yeah, nightclubs, they're pretty easy to make because all the neons and all that kind of stuff. Something like I'm making is a little bit more difficult, actually. Because I am going to be adding some neons and making this like a future Wizard Academy, but we got to have the base there. The base of regular Wizard Academy before we take it into the future with neons. So, we're making an arch the hard way. We'll make all of these 0.25 in their depth. Get a little bit specific there, but I want them to be a little bit wider than the bricks around them so I can bury the bricks around them into them. Now we need this arch to be carried across. We have snapping to the grid with 15-degree increments. 1, 2, 3. There's a 45-degree increment. That'll be somewhere in here. Won't it? Maybe it won't be. Maybe we just need the 30-degree increments. There's the 30. And then we'll need another 30. And with that, that should be a good part of the arch. We're going to rotate this 180 degrees. I'm going to snap it into the same space at the same time as this one, and then delete the duplicate, and then delete the placeholders. And it's not quite what we need, but it's getting there. Okay, let's bring all this stuff back. We want to move everything over. We can delete that, but we need to move everything over here. Okay, we potentially have an arch if I can fill in the rest of those segments without it looking weird. We're gonna have to fill it in with a wood color texture because the bricks would look weird if I threw them up there. I think we can give it a little try here. Take it back down to 0.18, which is the depth of the surrounding walls, and see what it would be like if, oops, we threw this at it. That's not so bad. Okay, now what if we brought it down a touch to be right there? Stretch it up, it'll be even better. And then I could patch in these two areas. With a wedge. Okay, so we need to do a wedge shape. Let's go shapes. Blender, yes. Blender is software. Yeah, the Cyberpunk 2077 minus the launch fiascos look is a great thing. I actually like that game. Everybody had a problem with that game. It ran well for me, however, I didn't beat it in a day or anything, so maybe I didn't get to the part that everybody had a problem with. But man, that game impressed me. It is such a pretty looking city to walk around. I'm one of the people that doesn't fast travel and walks instead of going fast. And it's going to take me forever to beat that game. In other words, I'll probably never beat that game. Absolutely, Norman. Absolutely. So you'd have to get good at applications such as Blender, 3ds Max, Cinema 4D. The only free one that I mentioned there is Blender. So that's why Blender is pretty popular. It is a very capable, free 3D modeling program. It's like the Swiss Army knife of 3D modeling programs. It could import just about everything and it could export just about everything. Well, most 3D modeling programs can do that, but Blender is free and it does that. So it's super popular, and it's not just, being free isn't just, oh, I don't have to pay for it. Being free means that there's a lot of add-ons that exist for it, because anybody can get in there and make a cool add-on for Blender, and so they do. And there's lots of cool add-ons. Add-ons are things that could like load different types of files. Now, an AutoCAD file or a CAD program, you should be able to convert that into an FBX or a GLB or an OBJ. These formats I'm talking about are portable model formats. They are what lets you take your creation and move it between different apps, different editors, different programs. Once you convert your CAD model to one of those formats, then you can take it anywhere you want and do just about anything you can imagine. But you have to take into consideration the optimization of where you're trying to get your thing. So when you're making something in CAD, it is extremely detailed. It is realistically detailed, usually, when you make something in AutoCAD, for example. You would want things to be highly optimized for a real-time rendered environment, which is a foreign concept to a lot of CAD creators because CAD isn't real-time. So to be optimized for real-time engines, you have to have a sane poly count. You have to have good edge flow, something called edge flow. You have to have, depending on what engine you're going to, you need to have various material channels to make your geometry look good. Now, if you're going to a physically based rendering engine, then your CAD materials will carry over pretty well. But some standard shaders or material layers that are used in games are things like a bump map, or it's actually called a normal map. It's like the evolution of a bump map. Specular maps to control reflectivity, stuff like that. So yes, you definitely can, but you have to learn how to port your CAD creations over into OBJs or GLBs or or FBXs, one of those good formats. Then you would import it into the Unity builder, the Unity SDK of Somnium. Okay, these look weird. Dang, I don't want those to look weird. What happens if I just throw the brick texture at them? How does that look? Not the worst. We're going with that. Okay, so we have the cool, ooh, that nice, I like the lights. We got the cool looking exterior here. When you go on the inside, we'll have to patch up this wall here because I don't think we're gonna enter this side. I think it's gonna be the art gallery here, and if, let me do one more segment like this. So I could see what it's like to actually have art in there. Yeah, this is going to work out, I believe. So we got to hang the art on the walls. I have the Harry Potter music playing in my head on loop. I can't get it out. So like an orange candlelight kind of glows, what I'm looking for here. And the I'll make some sample artwork installations. But this is looking good. Now, this could be used to cap up this other wall here. I do want something to be capping up this other wall. This hole right here. Not sure if this would be the texture to use, but maybe it will be. Okay, now let's think of the length of these wings. I kind of want them to be the same length as these wings, which means that I'm done. Okay. Because that would be the other end of the wing. We got to make the ceiling fit. Okay. And we need this wall to be extended. So, what did I do? Straighten that out. Let's see here. We could do this in 2 walls. I bet. I don't want to do 1 wall because then my texture would be too stretched. Now, if you were in Blender, you could adjust the UV scaling, but we're not trying to fire at Blender right now. At least not at this point. Okay, and we'll bury the seam inside of that column. That'll work out nicely. Okay, and we're gonna have these spire things continuing along the outside. Oops, that's not it. Good. And as I mentioned earlier, all of these windows will probably be merged into one PNG to optimize when I get to that optimize step. Okay, now we want this to be the future awesome kind of wizard. Oh, let me put the shingles back up. A future awesome kind of wizard academy, which means that we got to figure out where to put some neons. Yes, sir. I'll tell you about scale, and scale is always a super important thing. But first, let me throw some shingles on here. Make this go up a little bit, in some. Okay, so how to understand scale in the Builder easy mode here. Well, first of all, if you're in the Unity SDK or you're working in Blender or Cinema 4D or 3ds Max, there's no question of scale. because they have various unit measurements that you could apply on those applications. Normally, you make sure that you have a reference of what person size is, like you put a little dude in there, and then you put, I like to put a couch and a door, because couches have to be the perfect scale for the person to be able to sit on them. They can't be too big, they can't be too small. And the same thing goes with doors. Doors are super important because the door kind of mentally sets in the user's mind how big a story of the building should be. So you don't want to play with the scale of doors by accident. I mean, you can make huge doors, but you want to know that like this is what a regular sized door looks like. So even if you're working in Blender, you'd probably want to get a door and a person in there. But in the builder, what I do, the first step that I do, I actually already did it out front, but I'll do it again here since I skipped that part today. I like to make a foundation. By the way, the ground's covered in snow right now. That's why it's white. I make a foundation, and then I throw a door. This is my favorite door. And a couch. That's in furniture. Sofa, couch. And a bed. I gotta make my foundation bigger to get my bed on there. So, I actually usually leave something like this in the build all the way up to the end to make sure that I can always put it next to something and see the scale there. Like I have big archways there, but I wanted big archways. Now, I already have these out here. I painted them white, but there's the couch and the doors. That's how I got the scale of everything. There's a bed down there. So that's one way to keep it in mind in the editor while you're doing it. The other way is VR is actually really good at conveying scale to the person that's testing in VR, because it's 3D and there's depth and it's just really good at it. So you can click this button up here, preview in VR mode, if you have your headset hooked up. I don't have my headset hooked up right now on this computer, but if you did, you click that and you immediately drop into the space in the headset, into VR mode right there, in the builder. And you could walk around and check the scale of everything after it's kind of like test mode, right? Preview in VR. After you're done doing that, you just take the headset off, you click the button again to get back into regular mode here. And it's like an instantaneous switch. And then you make the adjustments based on whatever scale that you felt in there. Long story short, you eyeball it in the easy mode builder here. Because if you weren't eyeballing it, it wouldn't be easy mode. You'd have to be breaking out the tape measure and making sure everything's really accurate. However, now there are some parametric entry fields over here. Parametric means that it's a parameter that you could type in. You could type in any number that you want for the scale or the position if you needed to absolutely fine-tune things in the builder. I don't do that too much myself, but I do use the scale on it a lot, because often you want to make shapes that are the exact same width as another shape, so then manually typing in the number works out well there. Okay, so we're looking pretty good here. Let's get the a little frame going across this thing. Make it look good on the outside. Now, a grayish blue would probably be good for us. Maybe a gray. This. That's probably too big, maybe. Probably, maybe. That'll do. Maybe I'll bring these down a little bit. Center this up because this is a solid color shape. I don't need to worry about stretching its texture. Now I have to ask myself an important question. How many shapes do I need to accomplish this thing that I'm trying to do? And I think the answer is 1. I don't actually need to build the frame all the way through the tower, all the way around the tower, I mean, I could just build one shape that goes through the tower and I won't be able to tell the difference. And it will fix a problem of Z fighting on the inside that I noticed a second ago. So we're doing multiple things with one shape here. So we have our awesome border going all the way around, and when we go in, the Z fighting is gone on the ceiling. Cool, cool, cool. All right. The ground we're going to want to look cool. Kind of, look at some reference pictures. We want it to look kind of like stony. We'll see. Okay, I'm catching up on some other chats here as I click around. There is no ruler feature in easy mode, but there is in hard mode. There's all kinds of stuff once you get into the software like Blender or Unity. Oh, I actually only have a building stream once a week, right here, right now, actually. Friday mornings for me, because I'm Pacific time in LA. So it's 9 in the morning. Friday morning for me. That happens every week. There's a different person that comes in to do the hard mode building. I believe that's Sundays. That's the Unity SDK kind of stuff, Blender, all that kind of stuff. That happens later on. That's not me. But sometimes I build even when I'm not streaming. Rarely. Usually I like to stream the builds. But sometimes I'm doing builds offline. I need to raise this out of the snow a little bit, like so. I need to extend my foundation so it actually fits. And I need to texture my foundation. And I want to texture it with something that looks cool. Ooh, marble. Marble is pretty good. I don't think that's the look I'm going for, though. Maybe it is. Okay, now this stuff here, I made these wider than I wanted them. What would it look cooler on the inside if I brought them down to be more symmetrical? Let's see. Now, take a look in here. That's much better. Let's do that. Good hand to shrink down all of these to be more square. Now, if I do things properly, this wing, I'm going to copy it over to the other side to be the other wing. So, spending a lot of attention to detail before I copy is a good thing. Okay, so those things add some decoration to the inside, and now we want to have artwork in there. We could have possibly 3 nice paintings in there for a wing. And then, okay, then this side, or on the other side, this is going to have a facade door on it. Yeah. And I am prepared for this. Let's make let's use one of these PNGs that I uploaded earlier. We'll throw it onto a media object. This, you could call it a job because it is a building for somebody else. It's not just something that I'm making just because. I'm making it because somebody needs this building. Republic Realms Academy needs this building. And it needs to be epic. I added that second part. Although I don't think anybody would disagree that we want everything to be epic. So, I don't know. It's based on a job. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. In my free time, I'm making levels and stuff all the time anyways. So, it is a lot of fun, but it is a, not my original idea. And you know, the Sistine Chapel wasn't Michelangelo's original idea. I hope I got that right. I know it was one of the Ninja Turtles that painted that. But, yeah, most of the time art is actually for purpose. Although projects where people just do it for fun are awesome too. I think the trick is to make it a little bit of both. Have a lot of fun doing something with purpose. We'll pull this out some. These will be pretty big doors because if you compare them to a regular door is only about 70% the size of this big door. We're also going to give it more decoration. Like so, and that also helps me center it up. Maybe that's not the best. Let's try some concrete. That's better. Okay, now these pillars I think would be a pretty neat place to add some neon because we are going to add a little bit of future flair onto this thing after we get the structure in. All right, this is a wing. Kind of feel like this door could also be out here to make it look like, hey, you could walk in, but you gotta walk around. Okay, if that's the case, this would have to go all the way through. I would want it to be pretty pronounced, but that's enough. There. This, I would make another copy of and clone it around. Perfectly 90-degree rotated though. Snap it over here. And then pull it through like so. Okay, we're looking pretty good. We got some branding images to put in here. Let me take a look at this design. Okay, so we're able to walk into this building. All right. Now I need to decide which ones you'll walk into and which ones will be facades and how symmetrical is our thing going to be here. I think we could make it pretty symmetrical. We can't walk all the way into these things, but they're spacious enough that we could have two of them and we could have the full 4 wings, 2 wings being enterable, the other 2 being facades. That could be doable. Now, do we want the wings that you can enter to be connected? We might. Or we might not. Okay, so, let's see here. I'll get this one. Over here, I'll catch up on some chat. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Okay. Move this spire over here in case we need it. I'm still not sure that we won't need it. Let's multi-select this whole thing here. Okay, I think I got everything there. It ain't easy. Let's put it against the wall where we want it. Ooh, that cylinder is going to have to be bigger, isn't it? It will be to contain this thing. That might be fine, though. We're going to have to get this pretty close to the wall. It'd be nice to be able to make some cliffs, but I don't know if that's in the cards here, because if there's cliffs, there's got to be stairs, and it might get a little bit too spacious for these constraints. Alright. This comes pretty close to all the way out here. Oops. If it comes pretty close to all the way out here, how the rest of my design is going to be looking here. By the way, I'm using a Snapchat filter to turn myself into this cool avatar. Cool thing about that is this avatar has infinite animations, even a drink your coffee animation. Okay. All right. We're going to need a facade on one of these wings. So if we put this thing here, we delete that. And we make this bigger. Delete this stuff. That spire, I'm going to use that spire. I'm going to use it right now. It's going to be my tower. What? It's wrong. Why does it look like a spire if it's just a regular tower? Well, we can fix that. Shrink it down. Throw it out. There we go. That looks more like it. Maybe we can make it a little bigger. That'll do. Can't make it much bigger than that. Throw it down some. We want the spire, or this tower, to be taller. Do that. It's no good. That's better. Cool. Perfect. All right, let's get rid of that placeholder thing inside. And throw the texture on this. And we're going to want that cylinder around the outside as a type of soldier, just like we have on the other one. That gray thing. Let's put one here. Perfect. Okay. Now's where things might get tight. Okay, it's time to delete everything over here, I think. And let's see how multiple copies of this spire will look. Before we do that. This door was not needed after all because it was buried inside of that thing. Everything else was needed though. All of this, minus these three things, needs to be shifted over to the right a little bit to center things up. And then everything needs to be raised up to get out of the snow. Okay. Now, we copied this over here. Well, we don't want that light. Where is that light? There it is. Okay. Time to start making some compromises. Let's take this out. Take this in here. These two buildings are too close. Dang. We might have to go for 2 arches instead of 3. Because that is not enough space to be cool there. Maybe what really needs to happen is I just need to bury some of this into the building. think that looks better than the brown. We're going to go with that. Trying to check how symmetrical things are coming together here. I want them to be pretty symmetrical, even if they can't be perfect. Yeah, that is pretty good actually. Okay, looking good. Let me click save here. Those are going to be the enterable wings. Maybe I'm going to add one of these to the front faces of these. Let me try this out actually. So instead of that being a fake way to enter the building, it's an actual way to enter the building. think we'll want that. Okay, that's coming together well. Do I have any extra window here from sleep? No. Over here? No. Oh yeah, this door doesn't need to be there, and that doesn't make sense. Don't need that wall at all anymore. So that's a curved wall. Okay, let's make this big old entrance over here. This spire! I don't think I need this sample spire anymore. Let me check what I'm making here. Well, yeah, maybe I do. So I'll leave that there for now. The other big component that we need here is the bridge going across. These may need to be taller. We need a bridge going across at a 45-degree angle. Okay, this will have to be an arch that you will walk through. It's going to be a pretty deep arch. But that's what we're going for. Let's get the scale of this down. That's the size of the door. Our arch is going to be a little bit bigger than that. No, we're going to be sizing it out exactly as we did the other one. Up a little bit, and then I'll be ready to start carving it out. Okay. 1, 2, 3 for 45 degrees. Slam it through the door. That looks doable. Do we need it to be bigger than that? Let me check some reference pictures for the size of this thing. I think that we might want it to be a little bit bigger than that to make it comfortable to walk through. Okay, now I want this part of the bridge to go over the top, and then I need to make it look like it's the wizard castle. A wizard castle. And that kind of just means continuing those spires along the sides. But first, let's get this tunnel all the way carved out. All right, now I need to start thinking about the ground. We need some ground. Or a foundation, I should say. Okay, that means that this needs to be lower. Much lower. Much lower. Actually, I got some steps going into there, so maybe that much lower. Which means that everything needs to be raised up a little bit. Okay, looking good. Get rid of this thing. Can't get rid of that yet. Get rid of the door, and okay, what's next that I should be focusing on? Little bridge going over the middle part. You could stand on that if we play our cards right. But if we play our cards right, we have to get the spires in there. Oh, these side things need spires too. So let's bring back the spire thing. Over here. Okay, these need to be shingles. I should have set that before I did the other stuff. Thank you very much. Okay, in these spire things, we went on the other side too to complete the facade. We don't need as many though. Yeah, we need these three, not that first one. Dang, I'm trying to get these to be aligned on the y-axis, but they're giving me problems because it doesn't fit in the parcel. So I gotta get a little creative here with how to snap these things. Is that correct? It might be. Yeah, that looks correct. There you go. Well, yeah, I meant too tall for the look that I was going for. But you absolutely have to work within various restrictions. And that's what makes Somnium Space work. Now, I've played a lot of building games. I've played a lot of cooperative building games. And what always happens is you have one guy that spawns 500 lights or something, and it lags everything down. Or you have somebody that spawns something massive that goes inside of his neighbors. That's other building games. Now, Somnium addresses that stuff. In the world of Somnium, which is this world we're looking at here, although we only see my parcel right now, a parcel is a lot of land, and that's your first restriction. So you see the green line on the ground, that's my parcel that I'm building on right now. Then I could see the size of the size and shape of the parcels next to me. And if I was in world, most of these parcels have stuff on them, like structures that I would see there. So the first thing is, everything you build has to fit on your lot of land. The second restriction is also a physical restriction, is how tall or deep you can build your things. Let me show you how big that is. I'm on an extra large parcel here. That looks like a small parcel next to me. Medium parcels, maybe that one right there is a medium. They all have different sizes and elevation limits. So how tall could I build my building? I could build it pretty tall. I gotta zoom out to show this. I'll make this thinner. Okay, so right there, that's how tall my particular parcel is. A small parcel has a lower ceiling, but there's the ceiling for my parcel here. And also, you can build like basements. And if you built a basement, I would be able to go pretty deep. That deep, about that deep, right there. So that's the volume that you have to work with. The shape of your parcel, all of them are either rectangles or squares, and then the elevation and depth is what you got to work with. Now those are the physical limitations. That deals with the problem I mentioned earlier, the old classic problem of somebody spawning something huge and it overlapping with people next door. Well, that solves that. The other thing, what about that guy that might come in and try to spawn 1,000 lights? That's what parcel credits are about. So Somnium is a single instance shared persistent world. All of those things. What does that mean? It means that everything that people build you're building it in the world together. You got to share the world with the stuff that everybody else built. So optimization is always a big concern. That's why you don't want the guy going in there and spawning 1,000 lights on there. So how does Somnium protect against that to make sure that everything runs well while you're walking around this shared single instance world where everybody's stuff is sharing the same place, the same world, not the same space, but across the street and all that. That is where parcel credits come into play. So down here, each size parcel is allotted a certain amount of parcel credits. A good way to think of parcel credits is performance credits. How performance impactful your build can be. Yeah, so they have to put everything on their parcel, so that gets rid of them building outside of their parcel. But to stop them from putting stuff that lags in there, stop us from making something that might hurt performance. What it does is it shows us the parcel credits there. Those are like performance credits. XL parcels have 850 parcel credits to work with because it's a bigger area. You need to spawn more stuff in it. Small and medium parcels have a different amount to work with. Now, parcel credits are like this. Each one of these shapes, they're not very hard to render. So each shape that I put down, that only cost me 1 parcel credit for each shape. So there's 3 shapes, there's 3 parcel credits. I'll put one of these there too. And that's because these are simple primitives. They don't impact performance very much, so they don't need to cost more than 1. Now, if you put something like a tree, well, these trees are highly optimized and only cost 1 also. Let's put furniture. Furniture should cost more than 1. A sofa. Okay, so this couch costs 2 parcel credits, not 1. And that's because it's more complex for the engine to render. So it uses more performance credits because everything in those is performance credits. Okay, that's easy. There's some props that might have glass on them that cost 3 parcel credits because the transparency is a bigger thing to render. Now, how about the big stuff? Okay, so shapes cost 1, furniture costs 2, most of the trees just cost 1 also. But if you go into media, you'll start seeing some bigger parcel credit costs. 5 parcel credits to do an animated GIF, which is worth it. This thing right here, this book, that's 5 parcel credits because it's playing through that animation. Awesome. You could also spawn a 360 video for 10 parcel credits. You can put a microphone for 30, which we're going to do, so I'll go ahead and drop that in there right now. It's 30 parcel credits for the microphone, because a microphone does something really cool in-game. Anybody that's standing in front of the microphone can be heard from far away. Who would have guessed that? But that's the way that it works in Somnium also. And that's why it costs more than just 1 parcel, more than a couple parcel credits to put that in there. Videos that spawn and that play in there cost 50. Let's do that, actually. I believe I have a video to drop in here. Here's this video. I just need to find it. Now's the time to put it in there. Here we go. How do I get this from there into there? I'm gonna have to put it in a text file. Hang on, I'm trying to get this URL to the proper computer. That ought to do it. Okay, now over here, if I open this URL in my shared folder, then I can put it on this thing here. I'll have it go muted and auto start and loop. Now, videos cost 50, but they do something cool. Let me go to nighttime mode so we can see. They cast light. So a video not only lets you put an awesome video with sound, but I have mine muted here, but it also creates a light. Okay, so somewhere in here will be this, and probably against the wall here. Although we're about to decorate the hell out of that wall, so not sure if it will still be good against it, but it'll be in here somewhere, so I'll leave it in here. Let's get back to decorating stuff, so we can get it all coming together. How am I doing on time? Well, if I was doing the 2-hour build, we'd be about done in 10 minutes, but I'm not going to be done in 10 minutes, so this is probably going to drag on maybe another hour as I get these details in here. Is Cube getting listed on more places today? That's exciting. Okay. Let's get to click it away. I have Cube, by the way. Cubes are awesome because it's not just like, you know, some people hold ETH, and ETH is kind of like an abstract thing. Nothing wrong with holding ETH. But cubes, it's like the currency of Somnium. So you can actually buy parcels with cubes instead of other currencies. You can rent things with cubes. It's kind of like the Somnium currency. So it's cool that it has actual uses other than being super abstract. ETH is related to NFTs and all that, so that's awesome. But some of the other currencies, it's hard for my mind to make the connection to games. But with cubes, it's pretty direct. Okay, let's get the details from that thing over to the other side. Although I think I might be putting some more lights in before I do that. Yeah, let's put some more windows in. And we need the border going across the top. A little gray border just like this one. Good. So I talked about parcel credits a little bit, and I talked about how images like this one, whether they're animated or not, they take up 5 parcel credits, and that's a lot. So the optimization step, we'll talk about that in a second. Bring this down a little bit. In optimization, I would come in and I would make multiple GIFs 1. So instead of spawning a whole bunch of copies of this window, I would make a few versions of it, so I only had to spawn 2 or 3. So instead of 1 image for that window and 1 image for this window, I would change it so there was 2 windows in 1 image. Now I would do it over here so there was 3 windows in 1 image. That would optimize pretty dang well. By optimize, I mean get your parcel credits down so you can use those parcel credits to do other stuff and spawn other things. All right. Let's get this cloned over to the other side. Let's do that. So we're going to be selecting some stuff here. All 4 of these spires on this side. All 3 of the spires on this side. Whoops. Both of the images on this side, all 3 of the images on this side, the base, the roof, and the stripe. Ooh, we missed one. The side. There we go. We got the whole thing. But I don't think we wanted the whole thing. Dang it. Okay. Undo. Undo all the way back to where we deleted that stuff. If we can, we can't. So we're just going to roll with it. Let's go back. Yeah, I'm going to select it all again. Because I noticed these things here, they poke out way more than I wanted them to. So we're going to have to move those things in like that. And over here, it's the same deal. These are poking out too far. Push them in. Okay. Also, we want to do this in chunks. Because this is mirrored on the other side. Doesn't matter that it's mirrored. We still want all of these pillars. Okay, so we're going to clone it over here, and we're going to get it the right height and all that. But, not going to be done after that. Now we're going to rotate it 90, and we're still not going to be done. Things are going to get way interesting before they get dull. Let's connect these. Right there. That's good. Okay, now we need to adjust a bunch of stuff here. We got 3 on the inside. Actually, this is pretty close to what we want. Pretty close. But we want to move all these things over. And I want to move these things over. All of these things. Okay, save. We're doing it! It's coming together! We still got to do a detail pass where we add some neons and some cool lights, but the base structure is getting there. We delete some of these things. The microphone's probably going to go up here. Probably. Not sure if it's going to be addressing the courtyard or out front. I think addressing the courtyard makes a little more sense. Okay. This thing is the next severely lacking focal point. Let's make this door look good. not a door, it's a tunnel. Let's make this tunnel look good. So in the other arches we did 30-degree increments. Let's stick to that here and do 30-degree increments. $15, $30. And what would happen if we did another 15, 30 from here? Looking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and clone this to the other side, rotate it at 180, snap this so it overlaps, and then delete the duplicates. And we have a tunnel for the most part. We got to cap those wedges there. Got to cap those holes with wedges. So we got shapes and throw in one of these. Two, three. All right, now that's capped up. Let's cap up the other side, same way, but we'll roll it. We're gonna roll it 180. Let's see here, 90. Yeah, we're gonna roll it 180. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, we're gonna roll it 90. Okay. Now, center this thing up here. Let's try to make it the exact width of this thing about. 6.15. Let's do that here. Wasn't it? For the depth, what does this thing have? 6. Oh, okay, let's do it on 6.15 on this axis. Let's do 6.1. Over here, what is 6.1? All right. Have another tunnel. Things are looking pretty good. We should throw some windows on the spires, I think. Just a couple. To give the illusion of them being hollow and enterable, even though they're only facades right now. All right, let's click save there. We're looking good so far. This bridge is still the focal point. We got some details tied in all the way around. That's great. We got the structure going all around. That's great. We need some details on the interiors now. First of all, this thing, should this be deleted? Probably should. Yeah, let's delete that. That's better. The bridge needs to look better. Let me take a look at some reference pictures of bridges and see what I want to do here. We could do a couple things. Let's do a couple things. We can have the domes or the cylinders over here. This might turn out well. Let's do more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these. And then hopefully we could copy everything over to the other side without doing them individually again. Last one. Okay, let's try to copy that to the other side. Should be doable. There we go, but I think I want the other ones too. Yeah. I underestimated the width of the other side. All right. Okay, we got some decoration on the inside, we got some decoration on the outside. It could still be cooler. We could throw a flagpole up there, which might be pretty nice. And maybe I could use one of these images as the flag? Like this one, perhaps? Let's see. Let's try that on a flagpole. Nice. Let's do the same thing for the bottom. Okay, and then we'll put a little ball on top. Here. Okay, I think we need some kind of castle stuff along the top there to make it look cool. Maybe I could do that with very few parcel credits. It's possible. If it's possible, it'll be through something like this, I believe. Yeah, that's going to look good. Yeah, well, a couple weeks ago, I actually built the FTX building live on the stream. It was a pretty nice looking building, I think. I liked how it turned out. No, we need it darker. Not that dark. Yeah, that looks good. Let's just move that over to the other side, and then I think we're going to be done with the decorations up there, and we could start looking at more of the media and start tying together some of these loose ends, because we are well over time for this 2-hour build. Okay, let's look at the courtyard area and get that looking the way that we want. we want some grass and stuff. So, yes, the FTX headquarters did get retweeted. That's awesome. We want some grass courtyard stuff. So let's make it happen. How are we going to make this happen? Well, we got to think of a couple things. I'll throw all the media over here for now, because we need something going on this side of the parcel as like steps or something. Also, this spire, I can finally remove it. We're not going to use this spire anymore. It's gone. Let's click save and get some steps in. This is going to be a little tricky. Let's see. Ah, I got an idea. Okay, gotta do a reality check here. What is the steepest slope that a player can walk up in Somnium comfortably? Well, that would be about 2 clicks. You actually can walk up a little bit more than this 30 degrees, but I like using this as the foundation of how steep to make my stairs. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Hey, these stairs look pretty accurate. Almost. Okay, and we're gonna have some cool stairs and a planter over here. Looks like the stairs can work, but the stairs need to taper in. That's gonna be interesting. How this taper will be pulled off. Okay. Let's put a little grass patch in here. Then here, I'll probably need something like this. Almost got the grounds in. We do want some stairs on this side too. Okay, let's get things together here. We need some grass here, so for that, we can use one of these shapes maybe. Let's try to cap up all the loose ends here within the next 20 minutes to get something that we can check out. Building Somnium one build at a time. Okay, how about some of these images? There was a couple versions of the shield. I don't think that this version turned out so well. Actually, at nighttime, this version looks really good. But at daytime, not so much, so I think I'm going to roll with this one. And we need some neons here, so let's put a neon behind this thing, and we're going to have it glow blue. That's what we landed on there with the finger spinner. We're going to go with an electric blue, is what I'll call it. And then we'll rotate it 45 degrees. That's 15 more than 30. Throw it into the wall. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We want double decorations with this one neon. What? Well, that means that we want this neon to go all the way through this thing so it can be seen on both sides. Like so. Okay. Center it up a little bit here. Hey, okay, and we want one of those on the front too. It's a good decoration. We want branding in the front of the building, you know, on the interior and the exterior. So let's see if we can get that into there. Do we have any other square branding material to put in here? Not perfectly square. So I think we're going to use the same one on both sides. Then I got to find a place to put that book. Try to get the sense of some floating stuff in here like they do at wizard schools, as we all know. This is awesome because this is the corner. I got to stay focused to get this thing wrapped up, but the corner being this is cool. We need some neons in the front is what we need. We need some neons in the front. And we need an arrow kind of pointing you in. A neon arrow? Why not? Looking pretty good at the nighttime, but we want more lighting. Actually, the lighting looks pretty sweet in here. I need to spend some time finding some good gifts to make things really feel like they're floating around. But to wrap things up for this session, let's get some of these floating objects in here. I think next to this orange light. And then good. These will be our placeholder art for now, but the galleries could go into these wings later on. Okay, let's get some more neons on this side. Throw some more neons in here. Gotta make it look cool. This is a good thing that I coated the canvas with liquid white there, because I am crunching it down to the last few minutes here, and I would have not been so far along if I had not prepared things in advance. That's why Bob Ross, you never see him painting the liquid white on the canvas. That's all preparation. I'm clicking like I'm playing StarCraft here. Let's get these last bushes in and these final touches. Okay, we're pretty much done. However, that tree and that microphone, you can still see the person through it, actually. Getting up there, you're gonna have to teleport up there, so I'm gonna do a little weird thing here. It's probably the last thing I do before I click save here. People are gonna have to teleport climb up there. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. But it means that you're gonna want a little ledge to help aid you get to the top here. So you can teleport climb. And I'm just going to throw this little secret ledge here. Like that. You know what? That's not necessary. You can just zoom out and teleport up there. And if you're on the ground, you have to shoot your little VR teleport thing up there. Hopefully that'll work out. I can adjust it otherwise. Okay. Oh, wait. One more image here to make it symmetrical. All right. We got 2 wings. We got a courtyard. We have an awesome hologram in the front. Well, I guess that's the back. Got an awesome flag. Got a bridge you can stand on. Things are looking good. Let's click save and upload. The next detail pass on here would involve decorating the gallery areas there in the wings a little bit and making sure that there is a place to meet with people, like a table and some chairs and stuff. There are partial credits left to do that kind of stuff, but we are short on time here, so it is time to stick a fork in this thing and call it Christmas dinner. Let's click save, upload. Then I'll go and adjust the height on web, and we'll be good. Do we want a free intern? Aren't most interns free? If you want to get involved with Somnium, what you got to do is make your way into the Discord. There's all kinds of stuff happening in the Discord, including if you want to be a builder. Somebody earlier asked, is it your job to build these things? Yes, and it could be your job also, because people are always looking for builders to build on their parcel. Somebody else mentioned, I can't afford a parcel. You don't need a parcel, because I'll tell you what, if you go into the Discord and you go into the hire a builder thing or the showcase channel to show some of your work, people are going to ask you to build, and they're going to give you land to build on. They're going to rent you parcels to build on. So if you want to build in Somnium, you don't need money, and you don't need money to buy a parcel yourself. You can just be a builder. Now, it's funner if it's your own land, because then you get to like live in the thing that you created, but it's great to build anyways and go visit the stuff that you built. So you don't need money to be a builder. And you get paid to build. So it's like the opposite of needing money to be a builder. That's where I was going with that. But yeah, if you want to get involved, whether it's building or something else, you just make your way into the Discord, join the community, say what's up to everybody. There's events happening all the time, community meetups and stuff in the world. Let me go and make sure that everything's looking good in web on this. I might need to adjust the elevation. Also, what is the parcel number on this? Parcel number 925. So in just a moment, this thing will be ready to visit. And I believe there's another event happening on this Twitch in just a few moments after I wrap this up. So you be sure to click follow if you want to see other things going down. I'm going to adjust the height in the mobile version, and then I'll be ready to link this out. Not bad at all. Here, we'll get this in, oops, I gotta link it over here, don't I? Here it is in web. Looking good. The link to that, I'll be dropping into the chats right now as I'm signing off. Into both the chats. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Here's the results. So awesome. You can walk around it already, in world and in web. There might be events going down on this pretty soon as well, so be sure to keep an eye out on the Discord and the Twitch. And I'll see y'all next week. Same bat channel, same bat place. For me, this is Friday, 9 a.m. I'll be doing another 2-hour build, and I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.